Joining us now to put all this into perspective, Fighting Joe Morrissey of the Fighting Joe Morrissey Show. He's also state senator, Petersburg, Democrat, Virginia, one of the swing votes, and right now one of the most influential legislators in Virginia, man of reason and great common sense. And he's with us now, and he's taught me a lot, and he's my BFF, Joe Morrissey, and he's with me now. Joe, great to have you.
Good morning, John. Listen, I've got one thing to say. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Go. Can you hear that? All right, so we're driving along, and we're hearing your song, and I got 3 kids in the car, and they're all dancing in the car, singing, "Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?" All right.
We're here to entertain your children.
You're doing a great job. Hey, listen, love the clip, and here's what's going on in Richmond, okay? From the beginning when the protesters started, and I've talked to 3 police chiefs in different jurisdictions, they never were ahead of the curve, and then it started, as you may recall, 2 Mondays ago when Levar's guys, remember what the game? Quiet game. 2 Mondays ago, when Mayor Levar Stoney's administration tear gassed a group of peaceful protesters at 7:30 p.m. sharp. That was the beginning of the end, I think, of his administration. Then the next day they came down to City Hall. He was booed off the steps of City Hall. Then he tried to join the march that evening. He was booed off the turf at the Lee Monument. And then what happened? He throws a Hail Mary pass. And he says, "I'm going to take down the 4 monuments." Except for one thing. He's in reaction mode. 4 years ago, when we were running for mayor, I said take down the Jefferson Davis. He said, "No, that's a joke. That's a political stunt." The Monument Avenue Commission said take him down, and he said no. But after he was booed and people holding up signs to resign, what does he do? He says, throws the Hail Mary pass. Let me give something to the crowd. It's like the Roman emperor giving something to the mob so that they won't revolt. He says, "I'll take down the monument." And then his police force tear gases another group. And after he stood in front of the crowd, apologized for tear gassing the first time, took full responsibility, he fires the police chief. And then this is to add insult to injury. We just found out, are you ready for this?
Yep.
That the police chief that he appointed 18 years ago shot a black man, an innocent black man in the back, showing that there was no vetting of that individual. His administration is completely reactive. And here's the problem. You've got a child in there that has never done anything. Graduated from JMU and then becomes a body man for the governor for 8 years, driving him around.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets appointed Secretary of the Commonwealth, which is a patronage, doling out patronage positions, and he's never done anything. He's never run a business, never signed the fronts of checks. He's been a political hack, and that's the person that's running a major city, the city that you and I love. Mm-hmm. I have no interest in running for mayor. I'm happy where I am. I am not running away from happiness, but I am looking for a leader in this city. And a leader is somebody who takes a position and doesn't wait to see what everybody else says and then take that position. He takes the position, or she does, and leads and brings people along, and he's failed to do that. And he should have fired himself instead of the police chief.
All right, so he's not going to resign. He's running for re-election.
No.
Levar Stoney's a political animal. We can all call for him to resign. He'll basically give us the New Jersey salute and keep doing what he's doing, raising money. The developers are going to give him money to get that center built so he can put his name on it or something. Meantime, my big issue with him is the city's a disaster, potholes all over the place, the services are awful, and the number one thing that I'm upset about is 30% of high school students in Richmond in 2019 dropped out. 30% dropout rate. This is one of the highest in America, Joe. It's disgusting. It's shameful. I mean, these are affecting lives. He ran as the education president. When he ran that year, 20% dropout rate. He said he would cut it in half. He doubled it. It went up 200%. You went from 20% to 30%.
Let me address that. If you're the head football coach, all right, and you're the coach, let's just say you're the high school team,
right,
and you focus all of your time on defense, and you tell the offense, go to the other end of the field and figure out some plays and work it yourself. There's no drill. There's no coaching. Do you think when the game time comes, your offensive team will perform? Yes or no?
No, but that sounds like my high school basketball days when I spent 90% of my practice on offense, 10% on defense, and my theory was we just have to outscore the other team. I won a lot of games that way, but I wasn't in the education business.
Yeah, well, here's my point. He has spent 90% of his time, 2 years of his administration, fighting to get a coliseum built so that the city would pay $650 million and he'd be able to run for governor and say, look what I did. In the meantime, he failed to work with the offensive team, and this team is our public school system. If you're not focusing on issues, you don't solve them. That's why the rate has increased to 30%. That's why we have potholes. We spent $2 million on consultants to tell the city what he wanted to hear, that, oh, yeah, that's a good job, Mayor. You build that Coliseum. Oh, my God. And what would those $2 million have done? You think they would have filled a few potholes?
Unbelievable.
Here's what people want in a mayor. It's simple. Keep our streets safe. We would need a police force. We need a fire department, okay? We need a infrastructure that is sound. Fix our potholes, clean up our take our garbage away, pick up our leaves, plow our snow, all right? Keep the alleys clean, make sure that the kids have proper Tier 1 schools. And we don't want the mayors running businesses like breweries, like baseball teams, like coliseums. No, run the city.
Right.
And he has no training in urban management, urban planning.
Yeah, he's a disaster. Being mayor of Richmond to Levar Stoney is just like a political game to get to the next step, be governor or something else, be lieutenant governor. I mean, he's doing a horrible job. He doesn't even know what's going on here, and he can't educate the kids. He's paying no attention to it. And I'm embarrassed to be in a city with him as mayor. Also, I'm normally right, Joe. As you know, I backed you for mayor. I was 100% right. If you were mayor, none of this would have happened. Kids would get educated. The dropout rate wouldn't be 30%. Potholes would be fixed because, after all, you're Senator Pothole. You would have been Mayor Pothole. All this stuff would have been cleaned up. The relationship that you had with the police would be incredibly better than he's got right now with his city. Now, let's get to the mayoral campaign. I had a couple challengers on my show, Justin Griffin being one of them, Kim Gray the other. I've endorsed Kim Gray for mayor. So Blue Virginia runs a big piece. I'm not voting. Nobody should vote for her because the Trump guy called her a transformational mayoral candidate. Kim Gray's a Democrat, right? Let me ask you something. Isn't the job of a mayor to bring people together, to be able to get disparate factions together, to work together for a common goal, which is making Richmond a better city and getting better education? Wouldn't you be applauding the fact that as a Democrat running for mayor, you could get the endorsement, the full-throated endorsement of a Trump chairman and Trump Republican. Isn't that what you're supposed to do as mayor? Not divide the city, but bring it together? Isn't that the objective?
Sure. You want to bring various factions together, and you don't look at the job as a mayor as partisan, a political position. You got to work with R's, D's, libertarians, vegetarians, everybody. Okay, that's what you have to do.
Well, you're running for mayor. I mean, this is not like you're running for governor and you got partisan issues. You're running for mayor. I want to get good policing. I want to be sure the reforms are in place that we can be safe. I own businesses here. I want to be sure that we can educate our children. I want somebody that's vested in the city that owns a home. She's the only person who owns a home. I want somebody that has been here. She was a school board member. She was a single mom with 5 children. She adopted 2. She has 7. She was driving all around. She was a council member. I mean, Kim Gray has tremendous experience. She loves the city. When the riots were going on, you know what Kim was doing, Joe? She ran a hose from her faucet down the stairs to put a fire out. While Levar Stoney was hiding in the mansion crying, she was trying to put a fire out. That's what I call a transformational candidate.
Here's what you do. Can you imagine we've had 18 days of protest, and most of them have been violent. Okay, here's what you do as your mayor. First day, you go down there and the crowd is assembled. Don't bring out 200 canisters of gas. Bring out 200 cases of water. And you say to the crowd, listen, I understand why you're here. You can say, I applaud your efforts. Here's some cold water. The police department will walk with you down to City Hall, wherever you want to go. Make sure you're protected. And then you've got them on your side. And then what we won't tolerate is burning, pillage. Okay?
Right.
And then, but from the beginning, he had them against him, and then he was in reactionary mode,
right,
pressed away. Everything that he has done has been react. Mm. After he was booed off City Hall steps, and then on the Lee Monument grounds, then he threw the crowd a bone and said, "I'll tear down 4 statues." And then after another fiasco, he threw them a bone and says, "I'll fire the police chief," when he's the one who took responsibility. And now people are now realizing that he appointed. You would have to be a writer in California to come up with this next one. He appointed, apparently, according to the news, appointed the new police chief as somebody who apparently shot an innocent black man in the back in 2002. Now, he didn't shoot that individual. What he didn't do is his team did not vet the person. It's like John McCain. His team failed to vet that Alaskan...
Sarah Palin.
Yeah, Palin. So that's my point. This is not high school city council. This is not college council. Mm-hmm. This is, you are running a Tier 1 city in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Mm-hmm. It's not a time to go out in the evenings with your buddies, your circle of friends, and drink, and not tip, by the way, and drink, and be, I'm the mayor. No. You work, you're in the office at 6 or 7 in the morning, you work all day, go to the gym at night, then go home and get ready to do it all over again. Mm-hmm. That's what you do. Mm-hmm. You put your nose to the grindstone. Mm-hmm. It's not being done. I hope, we've got, I think, 3 decent challengers, but here's the problem, John. If you have 3 challengers that are all picking away a slice, okay, mm-hmm. then his base will elect him. He gets elected with, 35% of the vote, but remember, you have to win 5 wards. So that's the problem, right, that we're facing right now. And there's going to have to be a come-to-Jesus moment where Justin Griffin, Kim Gray, and this other young lady. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name right now, but she raised a fair amount of money in the first quarter.
Yeah, well, the problem is you might get Griffin to drop out. Kim's not going to drop out. The other lady's the activist. She's very liberal. She's not going to drop out. So basically, you got to hold Stoney to under 5 precincts. If you do that,
then have a runoff.
and you go to runoff, he loses. So you just got to hold him to under 5. I've endorsed Kim Gray. I think she's the best candidate to do that. I think she'd be a fabulous mayor. We don't agree on every issue. She's a Democrat. I'm for Trump. She's voting for Biden. I get it. But you're running for mayor. I own businesses in this city. I love this city. I spend a tremendous amount of time in Richmond. My friends are here. I want to see kids graduating from high school. Is that too much for me to ask?
It's not. It's not too much for you to ask or every other parent or citizen in Richmond. I've got 4 little children. One of them went to, the others are too young, but the oldest was at Holton Elementary. I am like every other parent. I want those kids educated.
Right.
I want to be able to drive up and drop them off at school, or if they take the bus, and I want them to do it on roads that don't have a pothole in it, where the axle of my car goes 8-10 inches deep. All right.
Exactly,
I would like
Joe.
when I rake my leaves on a fall morning, I don't think it's too much to expect that those leaves would be picked up within 30 days, not 8 months later after they've turned to mush and mud, and the mud flows into the drains. On the 2 occasions that it snows during the year, I would like to have the streets plowed, all right? And here's what I don't want my mayor to do. Don't focus on a brewery.
Mm-hmm.
Do not focus on a $650 million Coliseum.
Right.
Who does that?
Right.
The budget for the city is $700 million a year, and you want to spend $700 million a year on a building?
These guys,
Coliseum?
it's just because it isn't about Richmond. It's just about his political future. That's all this guy cares about. He's a joke. Joe, I'm going to put you on the spot. I got 2 minutes.
Please
Are
do.
you going to make an endorsement in the mayor's race, and if so, when?
I probably will. I want to hear those. I'm going to meet with the various candidates. I'm going to ask hard questions about them. I don't want them to tell me what I want to hear. I want to hear what their vision is. Okay? And here's what I believe to my core. If you have an individual that is a hard worker, if you have somebody that shows initiative, if you have somebody that has stick-to-itiveness, which means you don't quit, then that person is going to be successful. I want to see who they're going to put in if they were mayor at agency heads, all right? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm looking for, and yeah, I'll make an endorsement.
All right, Joe Morrissey, I want to thank you. We're out of town. I got to read a text you got from a listener, Rufus. We call him Rufus the Democrat listener. He says, Joe Morrissey, a real dad, happy Father's Day, in touch with his kids. Nice to hear. So, Joe, you're getting the love.
Thanks, man. You guys have a great day. Happy Father's Day to all your listeners out there. Be safe, be healthy, and let's keep moving forward.
Joe, happy Father's Day.